Everybody, once again, the chat versus live gods are against me, but worry not. Very, very soon we will have all of this orchestrated. My buddy, friend of Collider, friend of Geek and Sundry, friend of me, Joey Rasul, is actually helping me get all set up basically this weekend. So in the next couple days, this should theoretically be the last time this chaos of not having a pre-set up live happens upon us. So apologies for, as ever, that madness. So we are currently connected to the chat. I'm going to go ahead and find this stream and send it out to you guys because that is how this tends to work. Yeah, all the apologies on all the tech stuff. Once again, thank you to Adam Smith. Thank you to everyone at Collider that was able to make this work so I could just talk because, frankly, this is all a learning curve to me. Aha! Motorola, hello, welcome. So it works. We're here. Excellent news. How's everyone's week been? Mine's been crazy, and now here we are. So I wanted to basically dive into a bunch of stuff. It is very late. It's not very late. It's 11 o'clock here in California, which means it is insane times all over the world. So hello to everyone that has joined in. I really appreciate you. I'm going to send out this link on Twitter, and then I'm going to give you guys full attention because it has been a great week in comic books. It is Wednesday, which means all my Wednesday warriors out there, today you got some new comics. I'm going to be talking about last week's books. I'm trying to, probably on Tuesdays in the future, dive into the past week's books and give some ideas for the theoretical futures tomorrow books, because I want to dive into basically what the new wave of stuff is, what I'm reading, do a little pull list, talk about what last week's books were, and with this format we can do like an hour on comics, which I think is going to be great. So if you are not into the comic book stuff as much as the movies or the TV shows, this particular episode type won't be for you, but I'll label it as such. And if you're looking to get into comics and you want a more long form perspective on comic books themselves, like specific to comic books, this is the move. Yeah. So check it out. All right, so here we are. And boom. I cannot wait to look back at this in a year when I'm literally tweeting out the link after it's gone live, chasing the madness of the internet. All right, so last week's comic books. It was January 1, 2020, which legitimately sounds like the future. Okay, before we dive into comics, quick live chat. I've seen some of the notes. I've read every single comment. I've read every single thing on Instagram, every single tweet. Thank you, first of all, for all the niceness. I did see a couple people saying there was a little too much live chat, not enough news. The hour and 45 minutes is not going to be as common. This is the learning curve portion. And I do think what I'm going to be doing is building out an hour to maybe an hour and 20-minute show. And then once I know how, chopping it up and then putting the sections. So last episode, we talked about how I think Christian Bale maybe is Beta Ray Bill. So Beta Ray Bale would be one of the breakouts. And then there'd be other talks, but it wouldn't be the whole thing. So breaking that rule immediately, I want to get into live chat because we got people from all over the world, which is just so cool. Trish R. from Singapore. We got Mickey Bell from Gibraltar. That's right, Mickey, I remember you from the Marvel Movie News days. Thank you for staying around. That is incredible. Gary Fisher, team no sleep, man. There's no time for bed. We sleep plenty when we're all done. Let's see. You're welcome, Josh Williams. That's why I'm here. Who sleeps? That is the whole point. 3 p.m. Thursday in Singapore. That is incredible. It is 4 in the morning in Uruguay, where Sebastian Villa is. That is incredible. Batman 85. I did. We're gonna get to that. Gary Fisher. It is 6 p.m. over in Australia, and I think I was talking to you on Twitter. I have been to Australia. I shot a movie there. 5 years ago. Went to Sydney, went to Newtown, went to Maria Island, went to Tasmania, did all bunch of great. I love Australia. I was there for a few weeks. The Newtown Dindy is one of my favorite theaters in the world. I'm a big fan. The Ryan Cross Project says it's 2 a.m. Go to sleep. Nay, sir. Nay. Because there are comics to talk about. When there's comics to talk about, you don't sleep. You talk comics. And I'm West Coast, so it's only 11 p.m. Hey from New Zealand, Starbug, hello. Let's see here. Dave, Harloff just thinks I kick puppies because he doesn't understand how you could be so happy all the time. But what Harloff doesn't know is, the secret is, I'm always angry cat. Just right under the surface. No, the world's good, man. Like, we're all alive, we're all breathing. I got fingers, I got toes, I can see, I can breathe, I can eat. There's a lot going on in the world, and frankly, I'm going to be happy to be alive. So, All right, let's see. At work in the police radio, so I can't actually watch, so I figured I'd drop a like and view at least. I'll catch up later. Oh, thanks so much. And thanks for keeping our streets safe and not just being distracted by me talking about comics. All right, now, gonna be talking about comics. That was all the time people get in the chat. We got 42 people in here right now at very late nights. That makes me so happy. So, it is currently January 8th, 2020. I want to talk about last week's books. Last week, we got an incredible array of books. I could spend the whole hour talking about just them. But I want to kick off with my favorites. So, my favorite books from last week, you can always check out my Instagram, by the way, for the covers. If you're ever curious about what the comic looks like, because getting a book by its cover is easy. You shouldn't judge one by its cover, but you should know it by its cover. I would check out my Instagram, where I'd usually do the top 9, so you get the visual what the covers are, and also lots of other comic stuff over on the gram. So, my favorite books from last week were Action Comics number 1018. Now, 1018 is pretty deep into Bendis' run, but I feel like this is when he's finally found the culmination of all of his storylines he's put forth. Like, I feel like he's been planting seeds for a really long time, and Bendis is a great mystery long-form player, but I feel like Action Comics is really hitting its stride right now. John Romita Jr. on art. John Romita Jr. is one of my favorite comic artists of all time. I've been a fan of him since I knew that comic book artists were like a job. Like, he was one of the first people that I followed all of his work, so I would seek out every JR comic hard stop. I would find his work. So John Romita Jr. Actually, this year's LA Comic Con, the Kamikaze, I was in the back green room, and it was waiting for a panel, and I was with Rob Liefeld and a few of the other comic creators, and the cast of The Office was there, and Kevin Smith, Jamie Hughes. Like, it was the green room before we went out, and John Romita Jr. sat down at my table, and I couldn't talk to him. I had great conversations with tons of other people, but since John Romita Jr. has meant so much to me since my childhood, I couldn't bring myself to form words. So if somehow he sees this footage, John, thank you for being nice to everyone at the table, and I'm sorry I was weird and quiet. But John Romita Jr., one of my favorites, him teaming up with Bendis. They worked on Avengers, which was an incredible run. The moment of the Infinity Gauntlet on Iron Man in Endgame is inspired a lot by a cover that was Bendis and John Romita Jr. I love when they work together. This issue is no different, so highly recommend it. Live chat, I have not talked about Locke and Key yet. I'm going to do that after this last week's comics, but before me previewing future comics. So that'll be about halfway into the show. So I also want to plug the glory that is Daredevil. Now, Daredevil has been some of the best it's ever been. I would argue this run of Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky is amongst the most important of Daredevil's run. He at one point gave up being Daredevil with the Man Without Fear miniseries, and then Zdarsky is writing a story about Matt Murdock trying to come back to terms with being Daredevil. He's been being trained by Elektra lately, which has been incredible. I love the supporting characters in this run. I love the new villains. I love the art style. This issue itself was Jorge Formes, and the art is this beautiful, gritty, yet pastel painted. It's got so much depth to it. It has so much heart. It has so much visceral energy. And Chip Zdarsky is not only brilliant with his writing of comedy, but the pathos of these characters. He knows exactly who Matt Murdock is, my Matt Murdock. And man, I'm a really big fan of what he's been doing with all of his characters. Chip Zdarsky, his art on Sex Criminals is fantastic. Sex Criminals, if you're over 18, or realistically 15, 16, check out Sex Criminals. And it's Chip Zdarsky is reinventing a lot of characters I enjoy. He did this great comic called Spider-Man Life Story. Anyway, Chip Zdarsky, he's one of those writers. Hunt anything he does down. He's consistent, fantastic, and his newsletter is brilliant. We've also got Hawkeye Freefall number 1. Number 1s are always tricky because they really need to sell you on a character you probably already know. They need to make sure you feel a new way about them by the end of the issue, and they need to get you interested in even number 2. There's a reason comic stores buy a ton of number 1s, and the drop-off for number 2 is real. People try them out, and it doesn't always work. This Freefall number 1 I thought was a lot of fun. Matt Rosenberg really gets the Hawkeye I think of as Hawkeye. He is self-aware, he is snarky, he isn't... The comedy aspect of Hawkeye is tricky because he's not a Deadpool, he's not a Spider-Man, he's an everyman trapped... not trapped, but that's working with Avengers. So his character is very... he knows he's a guy with a bow and arrow, but he's also, fighting next to a god, and it's really hard to land that comedy, I think. And the action stylings of the art, Otto Schmidt really worked with the cartoonish blend of humor and writing, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Hawkeye, I've loved Kate Bishop as Hawkeye. I love Clint Barton as Hawkeye. It was cool to see a Clint Barton story. So check out Freefall if you want a very accessible Hawkeye book. If you want a very accessible Clint Barton book, check it out. I'm going to go into the live chat. Morning from the UK. Hello, Chris Barnes. Obi, I would love to talk comics in the playa. Absolutely. I tend to go to Burning Man every other year. So I don't know if I'm going this year or not, but I will certainly be there in 2021. And if I do go this year, I will absolutely let people know. And the playa provides, man. If I'm there, we will absolutely find a way to talk comics, because that'd be amazing to find people out there to talk all things Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse. Let's see. I am doing a late night spot, man. I'm not even kidding. Manny the Movie Nerd, Late Night with Coy is a dream of mine. I am putting it out in the universe, man. I want a late night talk show, and I am giving that to you. There's even a fireplace right here. Legit. Late night talk show. We're doing it. All right. You should show us your comics in the segment in the future, like go through a long box or something and talk about what you find. Absolutely. That's actually an idea I have for a future episode. I've got 37 long boxes on the East Coast and 4 here. I filled my 4th one up the other day, so I just bought one of the... I got that Absolute Carnage short box, the 100, so I'm going to be using that for temporary. But I definitely want to go through some stuff with you guys. I've got a ton of Silver Age Spidey and X-Men that I keep in storage, so I'll probably get them out of the storage unit, bring a box over, we'll play, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. You hear Spider-Man, you appear. What up, Tyler? Let's see. All the way from deep in the wild of Inland Empire, Ontario, California. Such struggle, such quest. Hello from the deep Inland Empire. I don't have a Twitch yet, Ryan Cross. I will be getting one. For now, I'm using YouTube like a Twitch, which is definitely probably against all sorts of people's beliefs about what this property or what this format's supposed to be. We are going to talk Thor #1 soon, because that was one of the best #1s I have read in a very long time, and when we do get there, we will talk God Country for sure. Tank Gunner, what up? I've seen you all over a bunch of different shows. I didn't know you're from England. Welcome. Join us. Thank you. Let's see. Gary, you got good taste. All right, back to them comics. Also, there's like 60 of you guys late night watching this, talking comics. Makes me very happy. I've hit almost 5,000 followers in 5 days, and I am honored. So thank you if you're watching this any time of day, days later. Thank you. Much obliged. And later in this episode, I want to talk about I want to briefly touch on, I don't like getting into the drama and gossip, but I don't know if you guys saw the Collider Town Hall. Want to slightly get into that. And yeah, we'll get to there. Now, Hawkeye, we just talked about Joker, Harley, Criminal, Sanity. Now, I don't know if you guys know Cami Garcia. Cami Garcia came on Heroes. We had a great interview, and she became a friend. She is great people. Cami wrote a bunch of New York Times best-selling books. She is an author of like novels. I believe she co-wrote Beautiful Creatures, which my buddy Alden's in, and it's this great like new fantasy type situation. So I was really curious how she'd write comics, and then I read Teen Titans Raven, and Teen Titans Raven is an all ages book. It's a young adult book, and it's just self-contained, and the art by Piccolo is so much fun. It's black and white with flourishes of color, and the more color happens, the more action is happening, and it's this really cool way to incorporate like where your eye tracks, and it keeps your eyes moving. Anyway, the bar was high. Like, I was already a fan of Cami Garcia, and then Joker, Harley, Criminal, Sanity. It's a true crime book. It's kind of like following along with a CSI investigator if they were investigating comic book murders. They go into Ed Gein, they go into real life, like our world murderers and serial killers, and then they incorporate Joker and Harley storylines into it. So this Harley Quinn is a CSI investigator, and it is gritty. The art is by Mike Mayhew, who's an incredible painter. I think he's done a bunch of those Fleer Ultra cards, Mike Mayhew, I believe. And the art is so photorealistic that it makes the horror of the book that much more real and visceral, and that juxtaposed with how great she writes true crime, it is an absolute incredible book. I love Criminal Sanity so much, and DC's Dark Label has been so consistently good. Every book I've picked up from Dark Label, Black Label, has been top notch. It is incredible. So yeah, check it out. It is absolutely great. All right, what else we got? Punisher Soviet. This one surprised a lot of people, man. Basically, we got Garth Ennis back. Like, Garth Ennis is back on Punisher, and that is a giant opportunity. Anyone that's never read a Punisher story. Garth Ennis is one of the most brutal, one of the most creative, one of the most inventive. He is so good at getting Frank Castle, and this storyline is going to be contained. It's going to be very, you can pick up this mini if you've never read Punisher before, if you like the Netflix show. Basically, it is a story about Punisher meeting kind of like his Russian counterpart. There's a guy masquerading as Punisher, or doing things that Punisher would do, so everybody blames Punisher, and then when Frank meets him, he realizes they're a lot alike, and he's gone through a lot of the same abuse. Now, this comic is absolutely adult, R-rated. It is gruesome. It deals with real life events. It deals with war. It's dealing with Afghanistan. It's dealing with the Middle East. It is politically charged because of that, but I think it's a really important story to tell, and I think if you're going to appreciate Punisher, you need to understand the real world ramifications of Punisher. I'm one of those people that's really bothered by police having Punisher logos in their car, because I think it sends the exact wrong message. We won't get into the cop stuff here, but I do think that if you're reading Punisher, you need to understand who the character is, because that character is really easily misinterpreted. So season 1 of Punisher on Netflix is one of the best adaptations I've ever seen. It dealt with so many important conversations, and I feel like you can do that with this character, and I think Punisher Soviet's going there. So this was issue 3, so you're only a few behind, and it's Garth Ennis on Punisher. It is brilliant. Let's get some live chat stuff going. Tom Taylor's first Suicide Squad issue. I believe that's today's book. I haven't read today's comics yet. This is from January 1, so I'll be talking about January 8th, which is today. That'll be talking about that next week or later in the week. Do I have new camera equipment, new stuff coming? I got a microphone. I believe an amazing fan offered to send me a mic, so I got to get back to him. I believe he's sending me a microphone because that's amazing. Thank you. And I'm going to be figuring all that out. For now, we're rocking iPhone because, frankly, I just found out 6 days ago that I didn't have, multiple camera setups. So we're doing it this way for now. We'll figure it out. We'll see. Let's see. This will be the part where I'd usually fucking plug Patreon or some shit, but I'm not gonna be doing that every episode because that'll vex me. But I will be building as we can. I absolutely promise you. Perfect stream to watch while helping my sister pass high school. Aw, that's awesome. Congratulations to your little sister. Hopefully she's real close. Man of the movie, we're getting there. Just picked up your last 3 weeks of comics. That is a great day when you pick up a giant stack of comics. Definitely check out her Raven book. Gary Fisher, I'm glad you're enjoying Joker Harley. Met her at Barnes & Noble in Maryland for Raven book and talked about that Black Label book. She's so nice. Tim, she is an absolute sweetheart. Cammy is amazing. She's been a real friend from an interview, which is always nice. A friend of mine just highly recommended Chew that sounded creepy in a good way. That's apparently about an agent who solves crimes by receiving psychic impressions from food. I blame gravity. Chew is so weird. It's so good. It goes places you don't expect, even from a book that's that weird. Alex Shipp, who played Storm, it is her favorite comic of all time. We talked about it a lot when we were on comic book shopping. It is glorious and weird. Definitely check out Chew. Edward, get an idea so we can all share the streams when we're going live. I have no idea. To be honest with you, I had a bunch of stuff to do today. I ran a bunch of errands, and then I went to the gym, and then I asked people if they wanted late night or morning. You guys voted, so we're doing a stream. Once we have a schedule, you'll be the first to know. You've been killing it on scheduling, so the moment I know a schedule, you'll know a schedule, because you were so much better at keeping up on scheduling and social media than I am. So I will tell you as soon as I can, and thank you. Let's see, we'll do one more before I get back to comics. Loving the new content, Christopher Clinton, thank you. I have to thank you for turning me into Saga. I just started it and loving every beautiful page. Thanks, my guy. Dude, Saga. I will probably, if we ever have a slow week of minimal comics or minimal movie news or any of that, unlikely to happen, but let's try to find some time, dear Koi Cube listeners, to just do a Saga dissertation. Let's dive into Saga one day, because I absolutely want that in my life. Hard agree, and thank you for checking out Saga. It is so near and dear to my heart. Man, Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples, thank you. Just, if you ever see this in the future, changed my life. Okay, no more live chat for now. Let's get to Thor. Thor number 1. It is a first week of the year book. I need to hold on. Try now. It is the first week of the year, and it was already one of my most anticipated books of the year, and it somehow lived up to those lofty expectations. Donny Cates is one of my favorite writers. Nick Klein, one of my favorite artists. Now, this all might sound like hyperbole because I just went through my favorite comics, and you'll hear a lot about my favorite writers and artists because that's the ones I tend to pull. But these two, Nick Klein was killing it on Deadpool for a very long time. Nick Klein's Deadpool was now iconic to how I see the character, and that's saying a lot. He's one of my favorites. You know, it's Deadpool, like, guys. But I've never, once again, like Silver Surfer, I never really got into Thor in the same way a lot of people did. I liked Thor. I enjoyed Jason Aaron's run. I enjoyed Walt Simonson's run. There's a lot of great arcs of Thor, but he was never the top of my pull list, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm reading, I don't know, 80 books a week, he'd be in the, like, 40 range. Like, he'd be in the middle. He's not the ones I wait till the end, but he's not in the beginning. This Thor was so anticipated, and it is so incredible. Now, just in case you haven't read it, I'm not going to give away the last few pages because there are some spoilers. Stay off the internet. But it is written with that amazing mead-soaked braggadocio meets Shakespeare that Thor needs to be. It's written in the same cadence that you hear that mythic tone in, and Donny Cates has this slightly hard-edged sensibility that I just love. He has this slight metal just nature about him that just changes the pacing of his books, and I really think Donny Cates is going to slay this entire run. The combination of him and Nick Klein is such a good duo. Nick Klein, he even said in the end of the book, like, he carves Thor out of stone, and I love this King Thor story. I love where we meet Thor in this tale and how he's handling this responsibility. And there's some great Avengers moments. They're brief, but they're perfect. They're exactly on tone. It feels a lot like how you'd imagine the Downey Jr., Iron Man speaking, or the Hemsworth. I can hear Hemsworth's voice coming through this Thor. And the whole thing just feels big. The scope of this is huge. This issue 1 is a great way to launch. I am a giant fan of this Thor. That would have absolutely been my number 1 book of the week. Thor number 1 is already, it's week 1, my book of the year. My most anticipated of the year, by the way, is Strange Adventures. Comes out in March. We'll get there, but whoa. But this Thor book, I really think it's a book for people that don't like comics or like love comics. I really think it's for anybody, and I really think that it's going to bring a lot of people into Thor. And much like his Silver Surfer Black, probably get me into reading older stuff. Probably get me into reading, Thors of past. Once I tend to get hooked into a character, then I go back and I'm like, oh, this is that love affair that people have with this character. So Thor number 1, check it out. So freaking good. All right. Last pull of the week. I'm going to try to do probably between 7 and 9 of my top books every week. I'll post my top 12 to Instagram and Twitter. And then I try to read every major release from the big 3 houses. It's hard to keep up with all the indies, but I do try to read like some of the bigger ones from Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, etc. But I try to get to all of them, and we'll report back to you guys. And then you can let me know what you guys think of these books, because I love your takes as well. Now, my last pull of the week before I get back in the live chat is X-Men number 4. This is amongst my favorite of Jonathan Hickman's work. I really enjoyed Hoxpox. I really enjoyed House of X and Powers of 10, but they never quite felt like the X-Men to me. And that was one of the things I said about it as I was reading it, was the ramifications of their actions didn't feel like they would land in a way that felt like the X-Men. They landed for the world he built. They landed for what Hoxpox was, but it never felt like the X-Men. It was almost there. And there were moments that were X-Men, absolutely, and the spin-offs are all great. And this is not to disparage Hoxpox. It's one of the best X-Men stories of the decade. Hard stop. I just never felt like when it ended, I'd have my X-Men. And this issue was me getting there. Like, this was me like turning the corner of like, oh, wait a second, this might be exactly what I want. So this is, I think, when I start to get fully on board with this new X-Men take. This is it's so contained. It is 2 storylines going on simultaneously, one taking place in a boardroom that's a very self-aware commentary on real-world commerce and capitalism, and one that's an action set piece that's protecting the boardroom. And the characters are all exactly as you'd imagine them. I love Magneto's speeches in this issue. They sound like Magneto. I love that Cyclops is fighting with dignity. I like when they write Cyclops well. It is Jonathan Hickman and Lionel Francis Yu. Lionel Francis Yu has this great sketchbook style where his characters all kind of look like they're in motion at all times. and I think that suits the X-Men really well. I love the team they assembled. I love the way the action feels kind of like it's cinematic, because when you read a comic, sometimes it's a comic format, but sometimes you can see the set pieces in the movie, and this is one of those comics where you can see the action taking place right over here simultaneously while the conversations happening over here. You can almost hear the edits, like the pacing, and it's just such a goddamn good comic. X-Men number 4 is my number 2 of the week. It is a turning point for me. I was very enthusiastic about Hickman's X-Men, but now I'm in love with Hickman's X-Men. This book was what everyone else was feeling about Hoxpox. X-Men 4, everything to me. So I really dug it. So this week, January 1, this past week's books, my pulls are Action Comics 1018, Daredevil number 16, Hawkeye Freefall, Joker Harley Criminal Sanity 2, Punisher Soviet 3, Thor number 1, X-Men number 4. If you want to look at the covers, head over to my Instagram. It'll be the 9 grid, and I try to put those up every single week, and I'm also starting a Twitter thread, but Instagram's probably easier. So head over there for all that jazz, and I'm going to jump into the live chat and see what you guys are thinking. Also, 100 of you are watching this right now, and before I get to the live chat, there was a time I didn't think 100 people read comics, man. There was a time when I was reading comics, and I was like, there's no way there's another 99 of us. I am so happy that not only is there that, but there's 100 of you at 11:30 PST just talking comics with me. That warms my heart. Thank you very much. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. I think Detective Chimp should have a mini under Black Label, and Deathstroke would probably do well brought under there too. Dude, if they do a Detective Chimp Black Label book, I will lose my mind. Detective Chimp, so slept on. Hitmonkey and Detective Chimp, if they do an Amalgam Universe now, if they do a DC Marvel crossover, give me Hitmonkey and Detective Chimp, man. The best detective at DC. It's not Batman, it's Detective Chimp. All right, let's see. Oh, also, this is my first one of these deep cut comic things. Before there are any confusions and complications, if you guys can't tell, this is a curtain. This is my living room. This is my house. I'm not doing this on behalf of Marvel or DC or anyone, so these are just my opinions. This is that, what do they put in front of audio commentaries? Like, views expressed here or not, blah, blah, blah. This is just me. These are just my takes. So whatever I read, I just want you guys to know what I thought of them, not influenced by outside opinions. These are just books I'm really enjoying. All right. Caveat over. Let's see. Scrolling up. Matter Burns Noble. We went too far, everybody. Oh yeah, and we're about like 2,500 YouTube hours away from getting this, so I can get super chat, and that'll make this a lot easier. So I will definitely, once that's an option. Kevin Tibbs, thank you for plugging Patreon for me in the live chat, so I don't feel like a douche. Thank you. It is in the. You're asking where the link is. There's in the definition of this episode, the description. In the description, there's a link. So I don't know what any of that is, but it's in there. The super chat link for Streamlabs and the Patreon are all in the description. So if you're so inclined, that is where you'll find them. Thank you, K Tibbs. Let's see. Pick up the omnibus. Yes, you absolutely should pick up the omnibus for Saga. It is so good. Gary wouldn't have read it without us plugging it. Hell yeah, that makes me happy. Oh, dude. Oh, this is a great story. It's a great little mini story. James Gaudry. In 2018, I sent John Snap the first run, 14 issues of DC's Night Force, 1983, and he sent me an autographed Blu-ray copy of Death of Superman Lives. Thank you for carrying the torch. Much love. Dude, that's exactly Schnapp, man. That is the perfect... he was just so good, and that must have made his day, man, to get mailed comics, and I'm so glad that exchange happened. That is so perfect. Like, you getting something from John for you sending John comics that you loved is exactly why the internet can be magical, and that story is the embodiment of King Sweaty. Thank you for sharing that. That makes me so happy. Greetings from Costa Rica. Diego, what up? Faye, yeah, no, it is a shitty situation. I agree. I don't like to get into the negative, but it is a shitty situation, especially like the timing and everything else. It is a whole thing. Can you and Amy and Robert Burnett do a live stream together, please? Anytime scheduling allows, 100%. I love those people. I love them both. And I love Matt Key. I love a lot of the people you guys want me to team up with. all in. But just like a good comic team up, it is hard to get the legal rights in that case and hard to get the timing rights in this case. Anytime it works out, 100% down, and we're trying to all make it happen. It's just timing. So if we can, I'm sure we will. It's just making it work. And I'm about to go out of town for like 2 weeks, so that's going to complicate matters. I planned those trips before the January 2nd firing madness. So I've had trips planned to leave town, and now it's getting monkey wrench thrown in with all the timing scheduling. So maybe early February we'll be able to set some of that up. All right. I met Donnie Cates and his wife last year at a con here in Sydney. He was the nicest person I've ever met. Dude, he's the best. Him and his wife, when they were not yet engaged, came in as Bill and Ted, and we've been friends ever since. They came into Heroes as Bill and Ted, and they're friends of Claire's, who also comes on Heroes a lot, and Donnie's the man. We're actually doing Hawaii together. In February, if you guys live in Hawaii, or if you want to go to Hawaii, amazing con, Hawaii. On Honolulu, Donnie Cates is coming, so I'll be interviewing, we'll be hanging out, so head to Hawaii. It's going to be dope. I'm so excited. Wasn't expecting to get into Thor, but after this issue, I'm sold. I agree, Jax Packet. I casually read Thor. Now I'm a Thor zealot for this run. All in, near the top of my pull list. Every single week it's out. Dan Hale. I get my comics mailed to me, so I'm always a couple weeks behind. I won't get Thor #1 for another week, but I'm psyched for it. Big shoes to fill after Jason Aaron's run. I totally agree, man. And I'm glad I didn't spoil it. So I will also try to maybe like big spoiler moments, give a warning, or I'll do them a couple weeks later. But I kind of like this idea. What do you guys think? Tell me in the live chat. Tell me in comments. Doing a Tuesday review show for the past Wednesday's books, and then what I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I couldn't do it this week because I expected to have Heroes yesterday, but with that schedule, I might be able to do the Tuesday plug for tomorrow. What do you guys think? Let me know. This is an RDJ pillow. That's correct. A lot of people, I posted a picture of Robert Downey Jr. and Joe Rogan, and I said, I'm so excited for this interview, and people thought I was interviewing RDJ, and unfortunately I'm not, but he is now my co-host. This is going to be comics, cinema, and curls with Coy and Robert Downey Jr. The pillow, though. He's very expensive. The man, he's worth a lot of money for time. But yeah, I have a whole collection of weird Civil War pillows with actors on them because I don't know. I think they're great. So I have a bunch of those. Thank you. Thank you, Edward Haskell. Thank you. You put your Long Beach Comic Con subscription on hold for too much. Can't wait to pick them up, and I will absolutely keep an eye on spoilers. Don't look at them too much. Let's see. Can I talk about how when I first met Schnepp? Yeah, man, I can. John and I had a bunch of mutual friends for years. John and I were always the guys that liked comics the loudest. John and I were always the guys that tended to gravitate towards each other because we were like the weirdos, like talking about the thing and like excited about it. Like we for lack of any better term, because there isn't, got sweaty about comics often at parties. So we just got to know each other. And also John being, 6'11", was always the guy you just saw. So we gravitated towards him. Yeah, we just over the years got to be closer, and then John never missed a birthday, man. John's memory for things that matter to you was amazing. And one of my favorite things is every year on my birthday, John would always, like, for like 8 years, happy birthday, Coy. And like, as you get to know somebody, you get it more personal. And by like year 4, it was happy birthday week, Coy, and happy birthday month, Coy, because my birthday is huge for me, man. I celebrate the hell out of my birthday. Because part of my happiness is being happy to be alive, and that's a birthday. And John really understood how much that meant to me and really leaned in. And when we lost John, it was leading up to my birthday, and he knew what the plan was for the surprise party. So when I found out that John knew about the surprise that was being thrown for me, it felt like he was there still. So John and my birthday, John and my life, all that ties in forever. Chimp Nugget lives, and yeah, miss that guy. But John, I just met through friends, man. John, yeah, and we became quickly very close. Like John and I, like that. Yeah, I miss him. So that's how I met John, through LA and through loving comics and through the bond that we now share with you guys through this, because that's what it's about. So let's see. Never thrilled about Thor. Always grab him. Check him out, man. Check it out. I Blame Gravity. Let's see. X-Men 4 felt like a mic drop, and I loved it. Yes. Good afternoon from Malaysia. That's incredible. So many people from all over the world are watching this. That's It's funny. Most of my life, the internet's existed, but it still baffles me. Like we're what 15 years deep into common internet, 20 years deep into Google, and I'm still like Malaysia and Australia, and it's just so cool. Okay, going back up. Cats are fighting. Good morning from Germany. Even more of the world. Cats were successful in fucking something up. Successful. All right, we got Rob K. I don't know much about comics. I'm using this stream kind of as an introductory course. Incredible. Okay, if this is the first time you've watched a deep dive comic book discussion, check out Watchmen. Watchmen, definitively one of the most important graphic novels of all time. I'd argue one of the most important books of all time, but I've got a bias because I like comics. Watchmen, hard stop. Brilliant. 12 issues contained. Pick it up, learn it, know it, memorize it. Recently, Mr. Miracle, I think, is going to be a book we look back on in 10 years and go, holy crap, that changed the tone of comics. Mr. Miracle is a game changer. Mr. Miracle's brilliant. I'm a big Spider-Man guy, so I'd say anything classic Spidey. A lot of Ultimate Spider-Man is a super accessible book. I think Ultimate Spider-Man kind of set the tone for the MCU. Definitely recommend that. And you also, if you know me, even if you don't know comics, may have heard of this book called Saga. Check out Saga. And if you ever want recommendations, that's what I'm here for. So, let's see. Times. Oh, you make me feel not alone for being a nerd. Heights, that's what's up. Appreciate it. Zach Mendoza, did you read Strange Surgeon Supreme? I did, and I loved it. That was the last week of the year, I believe. That was Christmas week, December 25th. Mark Waid, he gets Doctor Strange, man. I love the idea of Doctor Strange having his hands back, and I wouldn't have thought I would. I would have thought that would be a ploy, and I would have thought it kind of ruined the character, but somehow, against all odds, it heightens the stakes of his mysticism, and now he's got a day job. Like, it works, man. I am a fan. All right. Let's see. 100% detective, 100% assassin. Goddamn right, Detective Chimp. Luis, wants to see the pillow again. Oh, yeah. So I've got, 9 of these. I got a bunch of these. I've got big ones like this, and I've got smaller, 2x2s of Tom Cruise, because he's very short, and Leo DiCaprio. But I've also got, a Brad Pitt. I've got a Bill Murray. All actors that look good in Civil War garb, and also people I admire. My thing is, they say you're the combination of the 5 people you're around the most. I figure if I'm always looking at people that inspire me, I'll be inspired to do more, right? So, if tonight, I didn't know if I wanted to do a live stream at 11 o'clock at night, but what would Robert Downey Jr. do? Probably get some work done, man. Guy's got millions for a reason. So I just keep inspirational images around me. I also, I have Conor McGregor stuff everywhere, because that dude yelling just so he inspires you, dude hustles, so that sort of thing. All right, let's see. Don't read comics here to support you all. Dude, thank you. That means the world. Not even a comic book person are here with me. All right. They should make a Night Monkey movie. They kind of did. I thought, they might. Ivan Soto, Locke and Key looks fun. Yeah, do you want me to dive into Locke and Key? Let's dive into Locke and Key. All right. Locke and Key. That trailer looked bigger than I expected. Now, Netflix has, Netflix money. But when I think of the comic, I think of a very conceptual horror, but the book itself always feels very, to me, gorily contained. Now, as the books progress, the story gets bigger and bigger, and I haven't read the last 2, to be honest. I need to read them, and I'm planning on reading them before the show in a few weeks. But the Locke and Key mythos always just felt like this really cool, horror, haunted house contained, and then it expanded, like I said. But this trailer from the jump, it's just got this Prince of Persia scope, this fantasy element, this whole world building that I didn't expect from a trailer, and it also looks like they're paying so close attention to the details. It's exactly how I imagine the Echo to look. I love the shadow play. I love the use of lighting. I really enjoy the fact that all the keys are modeled exactly after the comic book keys. I really like that the whole thing feels like when you're telling a ghost story as a kid, and that Locke and Key just has this this youthful mischief, and I could not be more excited for it. Joe Hill, who wrote Locke and Key, has this entire line over at DC called Hill House, and so far super consistent. It's kind of so DC, Black Label, Hill House. So it's like this umbrella under this umbrella, and all the books I've read in it so far are really good. Basket Full of Heads, it's his. That's probably my favorite. Basket Full of Heads is really solid. But Joe Hill, he's Stephen King's kid, and clearly that's obviously a writing household, but it's also a household that clearly values structure and the integrity of story and all those things. I actually interviewed Joe Hill at Comic-Con this year, so we talked about this whole run. We talked about Locke and Key, the show, a little bit, so that's over on Collider Interviews. If you want to check out an interview with me and Joe Hill, who is so rad and also a really big comic book fan. I was talking to Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane out in the balcony before I interviewed Joe, and then Joe came out and like was super nervous to meet Todd McFarlane, and it was this really cool moment of like, you guys are two of the smartest dudes, and like to see them geek out, like it was just, I love Comic-Con and I love comics so much. So yeah, it was a really cool moment, and Joe Hill is awesome. Locke and Key I'd pick up the first graphic novel if you haven't read it yet. The first graphic novel will give you a really good indication of where the book goes. It looks like they're doing like, I don't know, probably 70% from the first graphic novel, and it looks like a lot of fun. And Netflix, between that and Umbrella Academy, they really know how to find those not big two properties to pick up. Like, they really have a good sense of what comic books are. And I think the next 5 years, we're going to see as much big two stuff, but I think we're going to see more and more independence picked up. We're going to see more and more indie comics getting the light of day. Like, The Kitchen might not have done that well this year, but that was a comic book movie with that cast. And I think we're going to see a lot more stuff that you don't realize is a comic book movie. And Locke and Key, I don't think a lot of people are going to know it's a graphic novel or comic. So check out Locke and Key, the book, before it comes out. Back in the live chat, if you guys have any questions about anything we've covered so far, we have talked about this past week's books from January 1, 2020. My top books, went through them, artists, storylines, all that good stuff. Just talked Locke and Key. Back in the live chat. All right. Have I heard of October Faction graphic novel? Netflix trailer looks pretty fun. I actually haven't. You just told me something. I will check out October Faction. Did not know that was a graphic novel. I will look into it. Hey Koi, how close are you to the hours are you? I'm not sure what that means. It is 11:42. That's what time it is, if that's what you're asking about. Melman, what's good, Koi, my boy? I never catch Americans live because of time zone things. Greetings from Kenya. Dude, you're watching from Kenya. That's awesome. I am honored. Thank you. Welcome. And the time zone thing is a mess for me because who sleeps? It is almost midnight, but I get to talk to you in Kenya because of this time zone, so that is awesome. All right. I've been trying to get you and Amy over here for a con as guests. Gary, where are you from again? Australia? If there's anyone that you can put me in touch with at the con, I will do everything I can to get myself to that con because I love your country. Australia is incredible. This stuff with the fires is awful. I send all my well wishes. That is truly awful. I don't have words. But I would be in Australia in a heartbeat for a con, especially. And also, dude, Kenya, I'd go to Africa in a heartbeat too. I spent like 5 weeks in Cape Town, and Cape Town is this amazing hub of happy, glorious culture and food and art. And the art in Cape Town, life-changing. And I also like the water right there. Cape Town was amazing. So Africa or Australia, please, any cons, I'm there in a second. All right. Also, the meat pies in both your countries. Meat pies in Australia and Africa, so much better than the States. All right. I do spare no expense for my co-host. Ask Robert. He is very patiently waiting to talk. I also talk over my co-hosts. Let's see. Hey, late stream watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for the first time here in like 20 minutes. Dude, enjoy that movie. It is great. It's very long. You're going to be up very late. RDJ deserves success. He does, man. He truly does. When am I coming to a con in Tampa? I have actually, I've never been invited, but I'm down. Motorola, that is a good question. Dude, I'm so hyped for the Joe Rogan interview with RDJ. That's going to be so incredible. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. Let's see. Good afternoon from Shanghai, from Trinidad, from South Korea. Holy shit! This is my most worldwide, I think, ever stream. I mean, I'm only 3 streams in, but the where you guys are from, maybe I'll do late nights more often. Do you guys like this late night format? Because I'm talking to so much more of the world than I get to. That's so cool. Tim Berry asks, I mean, Trinidad and South Korea, thank you guys. Trinidad, Tim Berry asks, thoughts on Before Watchmen. I enjoyed Doomsday Clock. I didn't enjoy Before Watchmen as much. Doomsday Clock, it had some pacing issues, it had some scheduling issues, it took a long time to get out. But Before Watchmen for me felt like they were trying to find the spark and they had the kindling, but they never found the spark. It was close, and I wanted it to be what Doomsday Clock ended up being, or ended up landing. Issue 12 of Doomsday Clock helped a lot of the other pitfalls I had. But for me, Before Watchmen, not so hot. Whereas Doomsday Clock, good. Watchmen, the book, one of the most important books of all time. And of course, Watchmen, the show, perfect. Yeah, Watchmen the show and Watchmen the book are everything. All right. Let's see. Scrolling. Let's see. Oh, also, someone, I don't remember who, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, was watching the show, and they suggested Christian Bale for Thor. If Christian Bale is a talking dog, that might be better than Beta Ray Bale. And I thought Beta Ray Bale was perfect. If he's Thor, if he's a little demon bulldog, not little, if he's a giant demon bulldog, I will lose my mind. So yeah, Thor. Give me Thor. Brilliant idea. So Beta Ray Bale, because of more action. Thor. Mangog. The easy choices. Yeah, we'll see who he is. I'm excited, guys. All right. Just finished watching Watchmen. Incredible. Ultimate Spider-Man for life. Totally agree. Let's see. Eric Portney asks, have you ever caught Adam Klavick and Zach Eubanks' Wednesday Comics and Coffee Show on Hyper? I'd love to see you guest on it to give thoughts on weekly polls. I love those two dudes. I love everyone over at Hyper. Hyper is fantastic. Actually, fun fact about Hyper. One year, 2 years ago at Comic-Con, my hotel fell through while I was there. Like, I got to the hotel and they had no idea. Like, that reservation doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. So I was effectively homeless down in San Diego. And one of the days I was down there, I had a Ballroom 20 panel that I was hosting, and then that night didn't have a place to go. So I had all my stuff and I was panicking, blah, blah, blah. That's another story for another day. That's a long story and it got messy. But the story about the Hyper RPG guys is the next day, those guys heard about me, like, not having a place to stay, hunted me down, and made sure I had a spot on their floor for me to sleep. Like, they rescued me on the streets of San Diego, because I was at Comic-Con, I was working, and they took care of me. And the Hyper RPG guys, I am forever indebted. Those are good people. I would guest over there in a heartbeat. I've done Hyper RPG stuff before. I've done Hyper Heroes. Those guys are great. Anytime, I'll be there. And just know that those dudes are as awesome as you think they are. Have I gotten into or checked out any manga? I have a hard time reading as many comics as I read. I don't watch much TV because of how many books I'm putting in my head. I don't get into as many manga books just because of time. I think it's a great art form. It's just the sheer stack I read of other stuff hasn't allowed me to read it. If anything, I would cut back on comics. No, that's not true. If anything, I would try to have more hours in the day, sleep even less, and read more nonfiction. I miss books. I love reading autobiographies. I love reading biographies. I love reading about people that inspire me and how they've gotten to where they are. So I would take the time to read those kind of books first. But manga, I love the art form. It's just I haven't at the time. All right. Hey, Koi, big fan. Don't read comics, but big MCU fan. You and Amy did a great job with Heroes, and Shep would be proud. Thank you. Truly. I appreciate it, Burnley. Burn E with an I. Let's see. I just read God of Thor Volume 1 by Jason Aaron. It makes me think that Christian Bale rumor casting could be the God Butcher. That's the main rumor. I did an episode, the last episode of the show, check it out. It was 2 days ago. Gore the God Butcher, I broke down what issues I'd recommend you check him out in, kind of where he started. I did, Gore is the choice a lot of people have, and I think he'd be fantastic. I just want Beta Ray Bale. So check out the last week's episode, or last 2 days ago's episode. All right, Dan, how do you say your name, man? Hale, is very excited for, it's Heyl, I believe, like Hale. I agree, Locke and Key has been incredible from the jump. It is so good. Gore for Bale too, absolutely. Dario Agger is a fun choice, especially with, Immortal Hulk. It's a really fun take, because he's a freaking Minotaur and a CEO, and he's a demon. I've seen that rumor. It's fun. Let's see. Have you read New 52 Earth 2? I'm reading it right now, loving it. Very solid book. Let's see. Christian Bale Minotaur. Yep, that's what we're talking about. Hey, post-workout Koi's comic stream. Yeah, buddy, that's right. You go get gains and you read comics. It is a great life. That is the way to do it. Umbrella Academy was incredible. Hold on one second. Someone asked before. This is a Sam Adams sour. I usually don't like sour beer, but Sam Adams Cosmic Sour is delightful. Big fan. Also, the last time I did a nighttime stream, I had Dos Equis, and everyone asked if I only drink Dos Equis. And though I want to be the most interesting man in the world, I usually don't lean Dos Equis. I am a Reds. I like ambers, Reds, brown ales, stouts. Those are usually my cup of tea. Dos Equis are fine. That's why I had one. But yeah, I'm usually a darker beer guy or a red ale guy. All right. Indonesia. What up? That's incredible. All right. Let's see. There is a doggy. His name is Teddy Bear. He is fantastic. He is asleep or running around. Really dumb question. Will I be at WonderCon? I don't know. I hope so. I'd like to be there. Actually, no, that ties in nicely to this next tangent. They did a town hall yesterday at Collider, and I have been trying not to talk about it, because of just like, it's a no-win scenario if I talk about that whole situation, because no matter what, someone's going to be mad at me. But I wanted to say just a blanket, a general, that Mark Fernandez didn't have to go online and say anything. And I thought that him doing that just shows a level of integrity a lot of CEOs don't have. Say what you will about the 2-hour thing with letting the people know that they got let go. Say what you will about what the company's doing. But like, him being attacked as a person that was trying to talk, I just thought that wasn't cool. So thank you all for supporting us. Thank you all for caring about how we were treated. Thank you all for being invested in all that stuff over there. But like, that was something that a lot of people wouldn't have done. So I have to give a little bit of respect for that. I have to tip my hat at the fact that is something that was incredibly hard to do. The main comment I saw was like, dude, look at camera. Dude, why? Like, he's on camera occasionally for his Rule of Two show, but the guy's not, like, he's a CEO, he's not a host. Like, him doing that meant a lot to a lot of people, and I thought it was really commendable. And I also thought that he's in a shit spot, man. So I wanted to give, I put Collider Town Hall in this, and then I decided not to really talk about it. Now I'm talking about it anyway. I think that the whole situation sucks for a lot of people involved. I think that YouTube's a really tricky thing, and I think that it's hard to do any of this creative business, and that's why I appreciate you guys so much. The fact that someone found my Patreon before I published it, I'm gonna remember that the rest of my life. The fact that I didn't know that was up and someone like put $5 towards it, AJ Lancaster, thank you, means that like that I'll remember that forever. But that's how hard YouTube is. So I think that we need to remember that when we're yelling at people, because it's messy, man. The whole situation sucks. And I'm not saying I'm cool with the 2-hour thing. I'm not saying I'm cool with the whole thing. I'm just saying that, like, remember that there's a person you're typing at. Remember that there is an individual that is receiving all of that vitriol. Remember there is all of that. And the amount of people that didn't work at Collider, that like are just in the internet space, like commenting on it, like making videos about it and like getting views for it and doing like live reactions. It's kind of, it's a systemic problem with the industry that we're just commenting on commenting. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it anymore, but I appreciated Mark Fernandez doing a town hall. I appreciated you guys having so much passion for all of us. So I want to leave it with that. Thank you. Now back to the live chat. All right. Hey, Purse, we're going to I'm going to go to the bottom and scroll up. How about that? That's going to be fun. All right. Feel bad for Mark, too. Thank you. It's not Mark's fault, but I didn't think it would be better if it did not. That's true. He's going to be on Campia Show tomorrow. That's right. He will be on Campia Show tomorrow. I'll be watching. That's actually one of the reasons I did this tonight, because I want to watch Campia Show, and I also want to not conflict with all that, because I wanted you guys to be able to be in here with me if you so chose. So thank you very much for choosing to join me tonight for a late night stream. And yeah, he was crying. It was a whole thing. So yeah, I think yes. Thank you guys for at least this audience's sympathy. Thank you. It means the world. Okay, we're gonna go back up. I'm looking forward to the live chat having those breakout things so I can see the because right now you're looking at the top of my head while you're watching this later in post. Cape Town is sweet, Mel, man. I love Cape Town, dude, so much. Such good, some of the best food I've ever had, to be honest. Your favorite comic turn movie or TV show? Thanks for the work you put in on Heroes. My favorite comic, oh dude, like, how do you even answer that? Like what's your favorite exercise? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite, like, everything's great. I mean, Dark Knight jumps out because it really changed a lot. Winter Soldier, Watchmen recently, like, there's so, hey, cats here. I can't pick a favorite, but thank you for the kind words. Oh yeah, back to WonderCon. Hi, Apollo. That is Wilson Fisk the cat. WonderCon, I think I'll be there. I don't know. I've always been a freelancer, always been an independent contractor, but I have also always been in the comic book space, and it's one of those things where you don't know if what company wants you to do their reporting and stuff, right? Like who you're going to be there for. So Comic-Cons always tend to be a last minute thing for me, and that's actually one of the things I want to do with this channel is if I can grow this, which is it's going to get more professional, it's going to build, it's going to grow, it's going to, with you guys' opinions and guidance and me using better phrases than you guys' turn into a thing, and I would love to be me at WonderCon. I would love to be Coy at San Diego Comic-Con. I would like to be my own entity to grow into, so I hope we got a few months till WonderCon. I want to keep figuring it out. And comic book shopping is carrying on. So I would love to have a comic book shopping presence there. We will see how it works out. But no matter what, WonderCon is down the street. So I will probably do some sort of meetup. I will probably find my way there because I am a fan of that con especially. All right. Jaw Movies, thank you very much for tuning into Marvel Movie News. I did share a picture of you in a Deadpool onesie once. I did. I remember that. And I have a Deadpool onesie myself. You're goddamn right. Very important. Mate, you gotta try Tim Tams, Milo, and Lamingtons. I'm down, dude. I've heard of Tim Tams. I haven't heard of the other two, but I think I had Tim Tams when I was over there. Also, the sake over there in Newtown is incredible. Big fan of the sake. Also, the Thai food in Newtown. So good. I got off Spider-Man PS4 at nearly 2 a.m. to find Koi live stream. Sweet. Hope you're having a good night, brother. Dude, I'm having a great night. I am spending a Wednesday night talking comic books with 110 people. Late night streams are better for me, even though I live in California. Don't get to sleep till like 6 a.m. Dude, welcome. The schedule for Doomsday Call was an absolute fail. It was a dense book, and it was hard to get out, but it definitely threw off the pacing for me. I'm excited to give it some breathing room, to be honest. What I did was I read Doomsday, and I read Watchmen right before I did the comic book shopping with Damon. And then I got the first 6 episodes. So I had read Watchmen, saw a bunch of episodes, and then I had to wait a bunch of weeks for the world to catch up to watch 7 and 8. But in the meantime, I reread Watchmen, and now that show's over, I'm going to watch the Zack Snyder movie, and then after I finish that, I'm planning on rereading Doomsday Clock. So in the next 3 months, I will get back there. All right. Let's see. Coy, what are your thoughts on streams and content of YouTube and the competition? I'd love to see you and Amy and Jay do a stream together. I think competition is how things get better. I think that competition is how people improve. So I think that all of this is good. Long term, short term, it's a mess. But I do think that I will always love working with either of them. So I will, schedule permitting, totally down. Hong Kong, dope, dude. That's awesome. Work, but also listen. Work overnight, keep going on the late night streams, and thanks for this response to Watchmen show as a masterpiece. My wife is tired of hearing me talk about Watchmen. Dude, I get it. Everyone I know is tired of hearing me talk about Watchmen. Are we doing Streamlabs tonight? I am on Streamlabs tonight. I can click over there after this, and I will be checking that live chat after. The link is in the description there. Dario Auger, that's the guy's name from Immortal Hulk. Yes, that is definitely an option. We'll see. It's not as exciting and fun as my Beta Ray Bale, but it is a good one. If Koi cuts back on comics, we riot. That's the problem. There's only so many hours in the day. It's so hard. Thanks for chumming the Koi pond. It's hard to get a good recommendation on comics. Much love to Hyper RPG for helping the homeless. Thank you, man. San Diego. Tricky. Koi, you can always switch to audiobooks for biographies, listen to them while you're driving at the gym, etc. I have tried, Trish. I have such a hard time with audiobooks. I love the written word, and actually, I don't even like digital as much as holding books. I listen to Joe Rogan when I'm driving, and I listen to a very limited number of podcasts. But books, I don't retain it as well. I'm a visual dude, so I love the idea, and I love the amount of audiobooks there are, but it doesn't sink in the same. So I wish, and I'm working on it. Nick Offerman's Paddle Your Own Canoe is one of my favorite books, and I have it ingrained in my mind, so I'm going to try to listen to it and see if I can make that the gateway drug into me liking audiobooks. Late night with Koi Jandra, watching my Shanghai office while working in my marketplace presentation. Respect the insights from Koi on comics, movies, and pop culture. Hell yeah. Late night with Koi Jandra does have a great ring to it. Tell networks. Let them know. It does sound good, doesn't it? Let's see here. That's the dream, guys. That's the true dream. We're gonna get there. Let's see. Back in 2017 on Collider Heroes, John mentioned that he had a Mark's Marvel Iron Man action figure from the 60s, and I managed to find one on eBay and gave it to him at LA Comic Con. Dude, that is also so cool. You're good people. That is rad. Thank you. F. James, I am just in here to represent Proper 12 Conor McGregor. A few people actually commented on me having a bottle of JMO. JMO is currently what is being drank in this household, but Proper 12 is also represented in there. Aviation Gin's represented in there. I need to get some Creekwater whiskey because I want to try Yellow Wolf's whiskey out. I also want to try out the Rocks tequila. And also, regular non-celebrity endorsed booze is delicious, but Proper 12 is a fine whiskey. Totally agree. And yeah, Ryan Reynolds Aviation Gin ads are some of the best in the game. Big fan. PC, Samuel Adams is not horrible beer. As a proud Bostonian and a proud drinker of beer, I disagree on two fronts. Hard disagree. Let's see. Heil. Oh, that's cool. Dan Heil. Okay, got it. Heil. Got it. Next time I see you in the chat, I'll know. Yes, he is John Campia. Now I've caught up to where we were before. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up in like probably 10 minutes. But I want to make sure I get everyone in the live chat. I'm also going to check over on Streamlabs, see if anything's over there. I think I finally learned how Streamlabs works, so I might be able to keep track of, while we're building this all up, what is what. Okay, let's do some Streamlabs, y'all. Starting from last episodes, on the 6th, I want to thank Anthony Nugent, Glenn Caesar, Monsoir Allen, Garth Harkness McMurray, who helped me out during the live chat, Anton, Garth again, Jake Romeo, Veggen, Garth, Ash, LJ Shashik, and I'm going to see if there's any questions in here. All right. I know nothing of New Mutants apart from John Schnepp, Amy Down, your conversations about it looks dope as hell. Here's to the future, Koi. Thank you, Anthony. That means the world. Hey, Koi, I'm glad to support you here, by the way. I said in Roxy's stream earlier, I'd love to see a mega stream crossover with you, Roxy, Roka, Riley, and maybe J2, as you're all comic book heads, like the COIE. Though scheduling is tough. Glenn, the dream, man. If you think about it, it took a long time to get all the Avengers together in a movie, right? So it's going to take some time to assemble all of the scattered winds of the heroic streamers. But we'll get there, definitely. Monsoir Allen, testing this out. I don't know why I went Arnold there. Good luck, Koi. If you ever want to check out an unreleased indie comic, I'd happily share it. We talked on Twitter. I don't know legally if I'm allowed to read indie comics because I'm writing some stuff, but I appreciate the offer. We talked on Twitter. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And dude, stay sweaty. Keep writing. That's really rad. I love that you're writing a comic. Testing this out. Oh, that was you. Nice to see the stuff from the Demon Bear saga. Speaking of Matt Key, I'm wishing for a Wednesday Club reunion with Matt Key, Amy Dolan, Taliesin, and you joining for a live stream. Dude, yes. As I've said in the other ones, and Taliesin, man, I've known Tally forever. I knew Tally since before he was doing Wednesday Club. We had a lot of mutual friends growing up in LA. I moved out here at 21, but like early LA, and I'm so happy for Taliesin. What they've done with Dungeons and Dragons is truly incredible. I'm so stoked for those guys. Anton says, hope you're doing all right, and I'm excited to see where you go next. I had a definitely rough few hours. I definitely this is periodically shitty, but overall, man, there's so much going on in the world that is so much worse that I just appreciate you guys being here. This is cool as hell, and I love this one-on-oneness. This is dope. Garth says, Keanu is Silver Surfer, the Zen Master from Zen La. Yeah. I would like Bale as Beta Ray Bill, but personally I'd love to see him as Balder. Oh, Balder. Yeah, that'd be great. Also, thoughts on Emma Fyffe not being a manager anymore and the Kate Mulligan replacing her. I don't know much about the inner stuff drama, but if you guys have any hot takes about who I should draft, I want to compare everyone's notes to my notes. So send me a tweet, because I've got my first 5 rounds, first picks, second picks, and alternates. So I'd love to see what you guys think, because I got some ideas. I'm intrigued. Have I ever read Berserk? First of all, Jake Romeo, thanks for just chiming in. And Vekgan asks, have I ever read Berserk? And if so, how are your feelings on it? I might not be your taste, though. Has a lot of sexual violence in it. That's not usually my cup of tea. I had a hard time with Game of Thrones. I have a hard time with some of that stuff, so it's not usually my thing. I will check it out and let you know. I had not read Berserk. We talked about Garth. We talked about this on Twitter about Storm. Check out my tweets from me and Garth talking about what I think of Storm and introducing her through Black Panther. I personally want a solo movie first. Ash said, I had that calendar. Where was Hawkeye? I literally, when I was done opening them, I was like, this is the perfect set. I love this. Wait a second, where's Hawkeye? And that was the moment I realized, it's a 24-day calendar. I think the 25th was Hawkeye in here. I think Christmas was Hawkeye for us because he's even on the ad. Yeah, we needed a Hawkeye. We'll get a Funko Hawkeye in next year's. LJ Shashek says, just got back from the gym, so I'll have to watch this from the beginning later. Glad you're getting this stuff up and running. Dude, thank you. Also, hope you had a great workout. That's rad. Loving your streams, much appreciated. Little old New Zealand. Thank you, Starbug40. New Zealand is on the list. I've done Australia, I've done Tasmania, I've never been to New Zealand. I must. And Matt Lafferty, the last of the Streamlabs from today. Matt, thank you. Matt says, thank you for keeping the positivity alive. Loving your streams. Thank you. Sincerely. All the Streamlabs stuff, thank you. Like, that it means a lot. I really appreciate it. All right. Back to the live chat here. Streamlabs, again, thank you. And we're going to wrap this up with the last couple of questions in this chat. I'm also intrigued by the Campy show tomorrow. Here, let's see. To hear about thoughts, announcements, and draft picks. I haven't done into the Schmodown stuff today. I've been running around all day. I don't know what's going on with the Den in the Dungeon, but it does intrigue me. Very intrigued. Let's see. Yeah, a cat ran by earlier. That's totally true. Yeah, I don't know about the details and all that stuff, guys, in the chat with Mark. Can I announce comic book shopping guests? Not yet, but keep an eye out soon. I can say that. I can say I'm excited. And maybe, you know what, on this channel, I might be able to announce it a little early, so I'll see if I can get clearance on that. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. Tim Tams in Canada, hell yeah. Mexico City doing late night stream, bruv. All the love. Thank you, man. Much respect, Koi. Can't wait to come on this new journey with you. Thank you. Zook's Pop Culture says, Koi, great to catch you on live here in the UK. Could I interest you in doing some content for my comic shop? I'm traveling a ton soon, but when I get back early February, my schedule will be hopefully more solid. I want to be doing this like 3 times a week, ambitiously, and then I'll kind of know once this flow gets going. We will see. But dude, I always want to help with comic stuff. Let's see. I keep losing live chat. People watching this later, I apologize for me not knowing how to scroll, because apparently scrolling is very hard. Let's see. Ever think of pulling an all-nighter stream? I struggle going to sleep before 1 a.m. I mean, I've been doing this for over an hour, and there's more of you watching than there were at the beginning. There's over 100 people in here, so I will absolutely... Maybe we'll do a slumber party together. Maybe we'll do like a... Yeah, I got some ideas, actually. Yeah, maybe we'll do like an all-nighter type of thing. Let's scheme it. Nick Offerman sings on the Paddle audiobook. Oh, that's incredible. Well, now I have to. I already have it. I just haven't started it. Okay, well, now I'm in. Now I'm more excited. The trade is official with the Den in the Dungeon. Let's see. Horse Soldier Bourbon. Okay, I'll try it out. I'm absolutely watching the Cowboy versus Connor fight on the 18th. Dude, it's 9 days away. I am counting it down. It is now after midnight, so it's 9 days away, not 10. I think it's going to be Connor in the 3rd. I think he's going to be fighting like the strength of Connor post Diaz with the agility and switch footery of Connor pre Jose. Like I think we're gonna see a very fierce Connor. I think Cerrone's gonna do incredible. Cerrone's a brilliant fighter, but I think it's gonna be Connor's in the 3rd. All right. Let's do one more. Actually, I see Boston. I see the word Boston. Okay, 3 a.m. for me, and I can't sleep. Love from Boston. Thought on Blue Beetle for HBO Max. All right, this will be my last question. Also, Sebastian Red Kill Lock. Hell yeah, Sebastian A. Kill Lock's real good. All right, so Blue Beetle, HBO Max will be my last question. Always tweet me stuff. I'll try to jump on there as well. I think Blue Beetle is a character much like Booster Gold, whose comedic timing and sensibilities would be perfect for streaming. I think the character's power set is great for long form. I think that you could do a lot on HBO. I think HBO Max's Green Lantern is going to be a testing ground, kind of like Arrow was for the CW. I also think that there was a rumor, by the way, I should address this at the end, about an ABC show. It's super early talks from what I've heard, and it's basically like, I think they had a show that we're pitching to Marvel TV, and then that was the timing with the Kevin Feige stuff. But the Marvel TV stuff seems very early days for all the headlines about it, so I wouldn't get too invested in it. It seems like someone heard a thing and then just ran a bunch of headlines. Anyway, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. 2 characters I think would be really good for like a 12-hour miniseries or a 12-hour season of a show ongoing. And I do think that the current runs of Blue Beetle really reflect how they could tell the story. And I also think that it's time. So yeah, I would love to see Blue Beetle, and I definitely think HBO Max. I think it'd be hard for a movie because you could do so much more long form, and I don't know if the budget needs to be a $200 million movie or a $150 million movie. Yeah, I think Blue Beetle will be great on HBO Max. All right, I think that's going to be it for me, folks. Let's see if tradition carries on, and I can't close this. Let's fingers crossed for no post-credit scene, because that means I'm fighting. But if it happens, I'll see you soon. And if not, I would like to thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. And as always, I would like to thank comic books for existing. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Let's do this again. And let's try. 3, 2, 1... Today's post-credit scene is brought to you by someone saying Joel McHale for Booster Gold, and I totally agree, and also Zac Efron for Booster Gold if he doesn't play Human Torch first. And here I am back for a post-credit scene, and let's see if we can close this again and make it one of those, it's like a teaser more than a scene. It was just a little hello. All right, maybe. So, remember when I said Joey Rasul was coming over to help me on Sunday? Well, this is why, because I keep hitting end event. And it keeps just saying, do you want to rejoin this event? And I keep saying no. And then it spins, and spinning in the koi pond is at least funny. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed the live chat. The live chat also always makes me crack up. Every single episode of the show, it is one of my favorite things. I really appreciate it. Once again, let's try to end this. And once again, we will have Joey on Sunday. We will get this sorted out. Hopefully this is the last time signing off is an uphill battle. But guys, let's find out. All right, I appreciate you. Read comics.